Today, we're diving into the thought process of one of the most iconic and intelligent characters in anime history, Light Yagami from Death Note. In this video, we'll break down the fundamental thinking principles and strategies that Light uses throughout the series to outsmart everyone around him. We'll analyze his methods and tactics. From predicting future scenarios to turning problems into opportunities, we'll uncover the secrets behind his genius. If you're looking to enhance your own strategic thinking skills, this video will provide you with valuable lessons. By incorporating these principles into your own life, you'll be able to think a lot smarter. So let's dive into the world of Light Yagami and learn how to think like a true mastermind. Lesson 1. Aim extremely high. In the world, there are countless smart, competent, and productive people, but what sets certain individuals apart from others in terms of achievement is the scale and magnitude of the goal they pursue. Prior to discovering the Death Note, Light Yagami was undoubtedly intelligent and ranked among Japan's top students. However, despite his academic success, he was still an ordinary person. He wasn't the legend that he would later become. This is due to his lack of pursuit of a significant goal. However, after finding the Death Note, he set out for himself an extraordinarily ambitious aim, and that is to create a new world. He said, "Using the Death Note, I'll change the world. It'll be a new world, free of injustice and populated by people who I've judged to be honest, kind and hardworking. And I will become the god of this new world." This lofty aim lies at the core of Light Yagami's thinking and character. It is the primary factor that characterizes him and sets him apart from everyone else. Lesson 2. Be a positive thinker. Another significant aspect of Light Yagami's thinking is his positive, optimistic attitude. While many people get overwhelmed by the world's negativity and fall into despair, Light does not surrender to hopelessness. He maintains a strong belief in his ability to improve the situation. Driven by this optimism, he takes on the enormous challenge of creating a new world free from injustice and evil. He once said to Ryuk, "You told me just now that the Shinigami realm is slowly rotting, right? Well, when you return from this world, why not use what you've learned here to try and change it for the better?" Ryuk replied, "Well, Light, I'm not sure why I never noticed this until now, but you're quite the positive thinker." Light replied, "Yeah, of course I am. That's why I'm using the Death Note to create a better world. You have to be a positive thinker to even attempt something like this." Light maintains this positive attitude in all situations. Throughout the series, he never encountered a problem and thought to himself that it cannot be resolved. Instead, he immediately starts thinking of a solution, driven by the belief that any problem can be solved and any goal can be reached. Lesson 3. Maintain optimal physical health to achieve peak cognitive performance. For your mind to function at its highest capacity with clear thinking, strong focus, and efficient processing, it is crucial to maintain good physical health. Light Yagami once explained to Ryuk, "I have a very small window to write names in this notebook. I only have from when I get home from school until I go to bed. I still need to sleep so I can maintain my average and stay at the top of my class. I can't let myself get too tired. It'll start to affect my health and my mental performance." In addition to getting good sleep, regular exercise is another key to maintaining great health. The show reveals that Light Yagami plays both soccer and tennis, and he's not just an average player, he's highly skilled. In fact, he was the junior high tennis champion. Lesson 4. Enhance focus by eliminating interruptions. After he came back home, Light said to his mother before going to his room, "I'm going to study in my room, so please don't interrupt me, okay?" Interruptions can have a significant negative impact on thinking by disrupting concentration. When you're interrupted, your train of thought is broken, making it difficult to regain the same level of focus you had before the interruption. This is particularly detrimental when engaged in complex or deep thinking tasks, as it can take several minutes to refocus. Interruptions also force your brain to switch between tasks, which increases cognitive load. This means your brain has to work harder to manage and switch between different types of information and tasks, leading to mental fatigue and decreased efficiency. Lesson 5. Always create a plan and think things through before making any moves. Another defining trait of Light Yagami is that he never acts without a meticulously crafted plan. He never makes a rash decision. Every move he makes is carefully calculated. This methodical approach ensures that he maintains control over every situation and minimizes the risk of making mistakes. Before Misa got captured by L, Light asked her to ask Rem to eliminate L. Rem accepted, saying, "If you take me to where he is, I can eliminate him immediately." To which Light responded, "The sooner the better. Maybe tomorrow. I should think this through before we do anything. I need tonight to decide how we're going to eliminate L, and I'll give you my answer tomorrow." In another situation, after Light's sister was kidnapped by Mello and held for ransom in exchange for the death note, Soichiro Yagami decided to hand it over. He declared, "I'm taking the notebook to Los Angeles. I'll take full responsibility for the consequences. That's my final word." Light responded, "Wait, Dad, before we do anything, we have to come up with a plan." Lesson 6. Rethink your strategy if circumstances change. Flexibility and adaptability are key components of successful planning and execution. A common mistake is to stick to a plan without recognizing that changing situations call for a change in strategies. When unexpected events occur or new information emerges, the original plan may no longer be optimal or even achievable. Adjusting to these changes guarantees that your actions are in sync with the present situation, thereby increasing the likelihood of success. After Rem agreed to eliminate L, Light devised a plan. However, while he was at school, L showed up and during their conversation he told Light, "In the unlikely event that I die in the next few days, I've instructed your father and everyone at headquarters to assume that you are Kira." Suspecting that L is up to something, Light immediately decided to change plans. He thought, "Now I don't know, is it still okay to eliminate him today? No. As soon as I make the decision to eliminate him, he suddenly appears, almost as if to distract me from my goal. I guess he's trying to guarantee his safety, and the way things are, I'm playing right into his hands." Lesson 7. Always try to predict future events. A defining trait of Light Yagami's character is his continuous anticipation and prediction of future events. This exceptional ability to predict allows him to plan and develop effective strategies. One notable prediction was anticipating the arrival of a Shinigami after finding the Death Note. When Ryuk first appeared, Light said, "God of Death, huh? Well, I'm not surprised. In fact, Ryuk, I've been waiting for you." Light also predicted the involvement of the police in the broadcast. He remarked, "I anticipated that the police would get involved and that something like this might happen." Another impressive prediction later on in the series was predicting that someone from the group will make the ideal, which was his father. This prediction allowed him to avoid getting identified as Kira by relinquishing ownership of his Death Note in advance, since the owner of the Shinigami Eyes can recognize an owner of a Death Note. Later on, Light predicted that Nier would figure out the identity of the second Kira and take the notebook after replacing it. Light instructed Takada to contact Mikami and tell him to continue writing notes in a fake notebook, after sending her a few pages so she could continue writing. After receiving confirmation from Mikami that Nier had replaced the notebook, Light declared, "I've done it. That's the sign of confirmation from Mikami. Now all I have to do is wait for Nier to request a meeting face to face. Game over, Nier, I win. I knew what your move would be from the very beginning." Additionally, Light predicted Nier would request a meeting and even the exact time Nier would propose. Light thought, 1 o'clock, that's the exact time I expected him to pick. Following Takada's death, Nier contacted Light, saying, "I wanted to confirm that we are still set for the 28th at 1 p.m. Light replied, "Yes." He then thought, "It's just as I predicted. He's sticking with the original time. There's no doubt about it." Lesson 8. Prepare in advance for possible future scenarios. In an incredibly complex and high-stakes situation such as the one Light Yagami is embroiled in, it's crucial to think of all possible future scenarios and prepare for them in advance. This involves taking precautions to mitigate or completely avoid potential risks. This is a necessary practice that Light consistently applies. For example, Light anticipated a situation where he might be unable to use the Death Note and proactively wrote down criminals' names in advance. Light explained to Ryuk, "Suppose the son of the detective superintendent of the NPA was hospitalized. If criminals stopped dying at the same time, it wouldn't be difficult to connect the two." Another great example is Light preparing in advance for the possibility of L installing surveillance cameras in his house by buying a small TV and hiding it in a potato chip bag. This allowed him to continue writing names. Once he confirmed the surveillance, he thought, "Luckily, I've prepared for this kind of situation." The way Light figured out that cameras were installed in the house was through another preparation. He set up his room door in a way that allows him to know if someone entered his room. In addition to those preparations, he also installed a hidden compartment in his desk drawer to safeguard against anyone searching his room. Light also prepares for potential future scenarios by instructing others on how to act in specific situations. For example, he told Misa, "If you get arrested by the police, or if you're ever brought in for questioning, you can never mention anything about us or the Death Note. As long as they don't get a hold of that notebook, there's no proof that you did anything." Later, when Misa became a suspect, Light foresaw that Nier and the task members would want to search her apartment for the Death Note. Light made preparations in advance to address this. He explained. I had Misa relinquish ownership of the Death Note. Before she lost all her memories of the notebook, she sent it to someone else, along with some special instructions. Now she won't be able to answer any questions about it. Light also provided Takata with instructions in case she ever got in trouble. During their phone call, he told her, "Do you remember the conversation we had when I told you that there might be people who would try to hurt you because of that? We talked about what you should do if a situation like this ever arose." There are other examples of Light preparing in advance, like checking the flight crews and passenger list ahead of time for the Death Note exchange with Mello. He also carries a page of the Death Note with him at all time in case he ever finds himself in a situation requiring its use.